This is the Dufour 470, and what this is a really nice, big, comfortable sailboat with a very interesting option in the drive configuration as well, actually, and I'll talk about that when we go and look at the engine. But we'll take the usual wander around first. I'll show you the cabins, I'll show you the deck areas, but yes, when we get to the engine there's an interesting option with this which I think you might find fascinating. So we'll head on back. I'll just point out as we go past it, there is a break in the rails here, so you can put a fender step in and access the boat from the side. That's very good. This particular boat is a very, very high spec, so you'll see things on here that may not be standard, but it's an interesting one to take a look at for sure. We've got the drop transom to make this bathing platform at the back, and if we carry on round, you can see how when that's dropped and that part of the seat is lifted up, it reveals these steps, which is a really nice way down to get to your tender or to go into the water or whatever else it is that you want to do. And if we step on here, we've got the twin wheels, as you will normally find on a boat of this size, and that is so that when the boat is heeling, you can be on the upwind side, on the higher side of the boat. You imagine it's heeling that way, how much higher this side is. When you tack, of course, you need to revert to the other side. Another interesting thing about this, they normally have the throttle just on the one side, because this is electronic throttles on here, they're fly-by-wire. They've been able to put one on each of the consoles, and in fact by positioning it there you can stand on that side when you're reversing in and drive it from there, which is rather good. This is an option to have this extended section here, but what's quite helpful about this is the fact that if we lift that up, it gives you a really nice bit of storage here, and then beneath that is access to the lazarette, like so. And I mentioned this is high option. You can see things on this one like the water maker. There's a generator on here as well, and just a huge amount of storage, which is full of boxes and bits and pieces at the minute, because of course we're at a boat show, so it's often the way. Let's fold that one back down again. Hang on. Ah, there we go. That's got it. Ah. It would help if I put that one down first, wouldn't it? There we are. I'll edit that out later. Oops. And then that one, there we are. Like so. I bet you're all screaming at the screen then, you haven't put the other one down. And you're dead right, I didn't. Multifunction displays in the back of here, that's quite helpful, but we've also got little repeaters here. This is what I mean about how you've got the throttle on both of these consoles. Bow and stern thruster on this one as well, which again is nice. And power winches here and here. Big cockpit area. There's a fridge inside here. Look at that. That's good, isn't it? And that little socket there enables you to put a little table light in, which is nice. These leaves lift up, so you can make that into a nice big dining area. And what's quite clever is they've split the bimini. And it's one of those things where I thought, there's got to be a good reason for that. Why is that? And it wasn't obvious. See if you can work out what it is, and then I'll tell you. It's so that as you step out onto the side deck, you go between them, like that. It just makes so much sense once you know, doesn't it? There we go. Perfect. Let's head on down. Obviously I'll take you around the side decks shortly. More big winches here. You've got all the lines leading aft right the way across. Big spray hood on this one as well, which is nice. And then this takes us on down. Now these doors close across here, and then there's a sliding hatch that comes back to meet them, and that's how you close off the cabin when you want to. And then if we head on down, this, as you'd expect, to be fair, on a near 50-foot sailboat, is pretty big. Look at that. That's a great size, isn't it? And so comfortable looking. It's got the pale wood on this. I think this is an oak finish in here. You can have a darker finish if you prefer, but this works well. Big hull windows, as well as the deck level windows, and also a lot of hatches overhead. Look at that. So plenty of ventilation, plenty of light. Very nice indeed. We'll head forward first of all. You've got a C zone on the boat here, so this allows you to go into all sorts of monitoring bits and pieces. Thusly, batteries there, alarms are on here, all that kind of stuff. There's access from there, VHF radios you can see. That's the generator control. And then you've got more switch gear here for lights and so forth. Galley is up right across the front here, which is slightly unusual and rather nice. Cooker is underneath there. There we go. 3-burner gas, and the oven of course underneath, and then sink, more sink, storage all the way around here, but it goes right the way across. Big drawer fridges over here, and that one is for your bottles. I'll just show you a couple of these because there's plenty of them. There we go, that's the kind of thing you got there, and of course it's down here as well. TV's there as well, so you can have this as a nice little relaxing zone of an evening. If you want to watch telly, then you can do, and of course this table unfolds rather niftily like this, so you can unfold all of those. That one's freestanding, and then once they're all out you spin it around and you've got a bigger table. It's rather clever, isn't it? Somebody's given that a little bit of thought, haven't they? There we go, I like that. And then we'll straighten it back up again. Thusly, that's a nice space. Let's go right forward. Owner's cabin is here. Now they do offer this with like a charter spec where you can have this as 2 separate cabins up here. It's not something that private owners tend to go for, but for a charter where they want to be able to maximise onboard living, that's an option that is available. But as I say, most private owners are going for this with this lovely big owner's cabin at the front, and again you've got a ton of light coming into here. Look at all these hatches everywhere. Hull windows as well. Very nice. Down here then, storage. I like the funky little alarm clock. It's not a boat thing obviously, but nonetheless there it is. And that one there, hanging locker. And then if we swing on back to here, we will find a shower, and it is just a shower. It's not a heads with a shower in it. It's a proper separate shower room. And then we can come back to this one, and that then gives you your toilet and your sink and so forth. And then back aft are 2 further cabins. These are pretty much identical. So we've got double bed in here. Again, of course, storage about the place, so this kind of thing. Opening window up there, hull window, another opening window. So again, it's all about light and ventilation. They're everywhere. That one down there is engine access. The main access is under the steps, but it just gives you the ability to go around the side of the engine if you need to, if you're doing maintenance. And then over on this side, pretty much identical. So again, you have lockers and you have cupboards around here and that sort of stuff. Plenty of windows, etc. Okay, now these 2 share this, which is the day heads. So here you have got the heads and a shower, but the shower can be closed off, so there is doors here that come across to keep that as a wet area and keep all this dry, which is nice. Excellent. And now I want to talk to you about propulsion, because this has got a Volvo Penta diesel engine. It's 75 horsepower. There it sits, and you can see that access panel on the side there and on that side. So that's your way in. As I say, if you need to get further into it, then you can do. It's 75 horsepower. It's going to give the boat probably about an 8 knot maximum speed and a 6 knot cruise. Sailing, you're probably sailing normally sort of fast sail or cruising, you're looking at about 8 knots, and then maximum under sail, well, it depends on the wind and the sea conditions, doesn't it really, but low teens probably. Maybe mid-teens if you're feeling particularly brave. But the option you can have here is an electric engine, and or electric motor I should say. People get upset when I say engine. But what's really neat about it is that it does a couple of things. First of all, it allows you to have a little bit of extra propulsion. If you're in very light winds, you can run it gently at maybe 20% power and just give you a bit of a speed boost when you're sailing. So it's almost like hybrid sailing in a way. But the other thing is that it will charge, of course, from the shore power, but it'll also charge from a generator. Well, the batteries, I should say, not the engine, will charge from a generator. There's big lithium batteries that come as part of the package. And it's quite clever because what it does is it works out the level of battery capacity and how much charge is in them, and when it drops to a certain level, the generator kicks in automatically and fires them up. But what you can also do is when you're sailing fast, of course, your propeller then can be spinning with the water going past, and you can use that to charge the batteries as well. So you're literally, it's almost like hydrodynamic charging, which is rather nice. And of course, you've got the silent running and all those lovely benefits of having the electric engine in there. Electric motor. Sorry. So that is a nice option, and they're rolling that out across the Dufour boats generally, I believe. So you don't have to have it just on this boat, you can have it on their other models as well. Let's take a wander around the deck. These are these big power winches. There we go. Nice big wide side decks on this one. This has got slab reefing, but you can have in-mast furling if you prefer. Slab reefing tends to be pretty popular. It's interesting that they've kept this gooseneck, I think they call it here, quite low, so you can actually get to the top of this, which on a bigger boat is not often the case. So that's kind of a bit of a Dufour thing, I think. And then up here, this one's got the self-tacking jib. You can have a larger genoa, whatever else you want, if you prefer, and of course that then furls on the forestay. This is all these hatches that we saw for that forward cabin, but this one is a deck locker. So if we open that up, we'll discover that it's been closed. Hang on. There we go. Just a huge glory hole, really, for all kinds of stuff for the boat show, so it's being used to just chuck everything away at the moment. But yeah, sail locker or deck locker, or call it what you will, you've got that one there as well. There we go. Look at this really low profile drum for the furling. That's neat, isn't it? Allows you to keep the sail down as low as possible. And then of course you've got the anchor winch up here, and you've got the anchor on the underside of that bowsprit. And that, my friends, is about the size of that. That's an interesting boat to have a look at. And that new drive system is particularly interesting. Massive thanks to Universal Yachting, they've organised that tour. Huge thanks as ever to you guys for watching it. Let me know what you think of that, and we'll catch you on another one of these very soon. Take care. Bye bye.